Welcome to This Explainer. I'm so glad you're here. Let's just paint a quick picture, all right? It's late. The city is quiet. But there you are, your phone screen glowing in the dark like this tiny little window. And outside that window, it's not a peaceful night sky. No, it's this endless scrolling river of messages, bite-sized videos, maybe some financial worries creeping in, or perfectly curated dinners making someone else's life look totally flawless. We just keep swiping, don't we? Our fingers literally do not stop, and our minds, they definitely don't stop. It's no wonder we're experiencing this profound, kind of hidden exhaustion in our modern lives. So today, we're going to dig into exactly why that is, and more importantly, how to gently find our way back to the only place that actually exists. So let me ask you this, and I'm asking as a listener and a friend who totally gets this struggle. Are you really here right now? I know, it sounds super simple, but when we actually pause it to think about it, it gently exposes our modern reality. We might be sitting on our super comfortable couch, but mentally, we feel like we're living in a dozen places at once. We're stuck back in that 3 p.m. meeting wondering, did I say the wrong thing? While simultaneously stressing out over tomorrow's overflowing schedule, and then, out of nowhere, circling back to some random regret from 3 years ago. Our bodies are absolutely here, but our minds, they are just constantly wandering. And honestly, this is the daily reality for so many of us. Think about it. We wake up and before our eyes are even fully open, the brain is already working overtime. Who do I need to text back? Is that project going to crash and burn? We brush our teeth, but we're not actually noticing the water or the toothbrush. We sit in these really important meetings while internally stressing about what on earth we're making for dinner. And then we lie in bed at night, flipping through old regrets instead of, actually getting some rest. We always think we're physically exhausted from being too busy, but the real truth, our minds are exhausted because they have simply never come home. Now look, it's completely natural that we drift away from the present moment. It really is. It's not because we're weak, it's just how the mind is hooked. The past is super magnetic because it's packed with the unresolved. An unsaid word, a bitter argument, a choice you regret. Our mind hits replay, basically tricking us into thinking that if we just analyze it one more time, we can somehow magically change the ending. And then you have the future. The future lures us in with these promises of safety mixed with a heavy dose of fear. We tell ourselves, if I just get that promotion, I'll finally be secure. But the funny thing is, when that future actually arrives, it just becomes a new present. And what does the mind do? It immediately projects out into the next future. It's a never-ending cycle. And this brings us to a massive trap that so many of us fall into, the wait until life. Have you ever caught yourself saying, wait until I succeed, then I'll be happy? Or wait until my finances are stable, then I'll finally relax? Or maybe, wait until this one problem is solved and then I'll actually sit down and enjoy a meal. But listen to this incredible quote. Life doesn't start on a certain day. Life only ever happens right now. That hits hard, doesn't it? If we constantly delay our living until some hypothetical perfect future, we literally end up missing the actual experience of being alive, which is only unfolding right in this exact second. So here's the crucial point. Returning to the present moment, it is not some rigid, disciplined productivity hack. The truth is, the present moment is remarkably simple. It's just a breath coming in, a breath going out, your feet resting on the floor, maybe the hum of your computer fan. But our minds are totally addicted to chasing stimulation. To a busy mind, that beautiful simplicity actually feels terrifyingly empty. So what does it do? The mind actively creates this complex maze of drama, comparisons, and worries just to prove to itself that it still exists. Mindfulness is really just the gentle observation of how our mind chases those shadows. It's about watching the maze without getting lost in it. Okay, let's take a look at this and dismantle some of the toxic positivity surrounding mindfulness, because there's a lot of it. A lot of people think being mindful means you have to sit perfectly still and magically empty your brain. Absolutely not. That's a huge misconception. The reality is simply knowing what you are experiencing right now. Another myth, that you have to always be perfectly calm. Nope, definitely not true. It's really about accepting your inner weather. If it's raining in your mind, you just notice it's raining. You don't force a fake sunny day. And finally, mindfulness isn't about being passive or giving up on your goals. Actually, it allows for incredibly grounded, effective action, mainly because you aren't wasting all your energy fighting phantom problems. This perspective on healing is just deeply profound. Read this with me. Sometimes true peace isn't about having no tears, but not using those tears to hurt yourself. Wow. This is the absolute core of our journey today. Mindfulness is a tender, completely non-judgmental acceptance of your pain. It's having the courage to say, hey, I am hurting right now. And instead of immediately criticizing yourself for hurting or trying to deny those emotions, you simply sit beside yourself. You keep yourself company through the storm. 5 practices to return, simple ways to anchor yourself in the present. So we understand the why. Now let's explore the how with some gentle, totally accessible practices to bring those wandering minds back home. Practice number 1 is what we call the 3 breaths technique. When you feel your mind spiraling into total chaos, don't try to solve the problem right that second. Just take 3 breaths. Step 1, take a breath, and simply know you're inhaling and exhaling. That's it. Step 2, take a second breath, and just notice where your body feels tight. Maybe it's your jaw, maybe your shoulders are way up by your ears. Step 3, take a third breath, and gently tell your mind, come back. Now, is this going to magically fix a massive crisis? No, but it powerfully cuts that chain reaction of our deeply ingrained habits before we fire off an angry text or completely spiral into panic. Moving on to practice number 2, the body scan. And this only takes like 3 minutes. You just slowly move your attention from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Are your teeth clenched? Is your stomach tied in knots? Our bodies are incredibly honest. Often, our minds are screaming, I'm fine, everything is totally fine, while our bodies are carrying all the burden. A massive amount of our suffering actually just comes from physical exhaustion and tension that hasn't been listened to. When we acknowledge that tension, just the simple act of knowing it's there carries this incredible soothing power. All right, practice number 3 really challenges how most of us operate every single day, doing one thing at a time. We live in this era of chronic multitasking, right? Eating dinner while watching a video, sitting in a meeting while subtly texting, hanging out with friends while constantly checking notifications. We convince ourselves we're being super efficient, but actually, it just results in a scattered mind and a profoundly shallow experience of life. Doing just one thing, just eating, just feeling the water in the shower, just fully listening to someone speak, is not about lowering your efficiency. It's this vital, necessary act of reclaiming your life from fragmented, endless distractions. Practice number 4 is giving your thoughts a name. Look, when a thought pops up, you absolutely do not have to automatically believe it. Instead, try gently labeling it. Say to yourself, this is worry, or this is fear of rejection, or this is regret. By doing this, we create this crucial safe viewing distance. We completely transform that panicked inner scream of, oh my gosh, my life is totally ruined, into a gentle, almost curious observation of, okay, this is fear speaking right now. You stop being swallowed whole by the thought, and you start being the observer of it. It's a real game changer. And practice number 5 is absolutely perfect for anyone who struggles with sleep. It's a quick bedtime routine using 3 specific sentences. When you lie down, just tell yourself, today is already over. Whether you crushed it today or completely failed, its part is done. Second, tomorrow hasn't arrived yet. It is literally just an image in your mind right now. And third, right now, I can rest. So many of us sleep poorly because we drag the drama of yesterday and the anxiety of tomorrow right under the blankets with us. These sentences firmly leave time exactly where it belongs. Now, we definitely have to address a very real, very heavy question. What if the present moment isn't some quiet, peaceful room? What if it's full of physical sickness, deep grief, or financial terror? Telling someone in that situation to just be in the present can sound almost cruel, honestly. But here's the thing. Returning to the present in those moments isn't about faking happiness or denying your reality. It's about preventing the mind from adding catastrophic future scripts, like, why me? Will this ever end? On top of the pain you already have. Returning to just one breath prevents the infinite terror of the future from completely crushing you in the present. Ultimately, this entire process leads to a truly profound realization about who you actually are. Think of it like this. You are the sky observing the clouds. You are not the clouds themselves. Your emotions, your thoughts, your anxieties, they are constantly changing, blowing in and out just like turbulent weather. But there is a quiet, clear awareness behind all of that weather that just knows you are experiencing it. That quiet awareness is the true you. And it provides this unbreakable refuge, no matter what kind of drama is happening in your life. As we bring this explainer to a close, I really want to leave you with one final thought. You don't need to suddenly transform into a perfectly Zen master who never ever gets stressed. But I challenge you to make a tiny promise to yourself today. When your mind sprints ahead into the fog of the future or drags itself back into the shadows of the past, just gently call it back. Right now, if you just return to one single breath, what quiet clarity will you discover waiting for you? Take a moment, take that breath, and thank you so much for learning with me today.